Donald Trump opened what he called his Mona Lisa. But this wasn't just about golf. This was about branding, business, and power, all under the watchful eye of the world. At a windswept estate in Scotland, Trump stood alongside Eric and Don Jr., smiling, waving, and cutting the ceremonial ribbon on his newest luxury golf course, the Trump International Links McLeod course. But behind the cameras, controversy was erupting. Protesters were gathering. Ethics experts were sounding alarms. And even the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, walked away from a closed-door meeting without comment. This isn't just a golf story. It's a story about how the Trump family continues to blur the lines between the White House and the Trump Organization, and why this Scottish photo op could become a political firestorm back in Washington. Family branding or abuse of power. Donald Trump didn't travel to Scotland alone. With him were two of his most trusted allies, not in politics, but in business, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. The two sons didn't just attend the golf course opening, they ran it. Eric Trump gave speeches. Don Jr. posted behind-the-scenes footage. Branding materials for the Trump McLeod course were splashed across social media and broadcast networks. Every camera angle made one thing clear. This was not just a presidential trip, this was a commercial launch. And while Donald Trump called the course his Mona Lisa, critics said it looked more like a monument to self-dealing. Ethics experts were quick to speak out. Walter Schaub, former director of the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, tweeted, "When the president travels to a foreign country to promote a family business while in office, it's not just unethical, it's potentially illegal." And that's the crux of the controversy. Was this a presidential visit or a soft launch for the next phase of the Trump business empire? And this isn't just opinion, this is a pattern. From the moment Trump entered politics, the family brand and the presidency became intertwined. Hotels in Washington reportedly raised rates during major political events. Foreign dignitaries booked rooms in Trump properties. And now, ethics watchdogs fear the Scottish launch could be the boldest example yet of using presidential power as a marketing tool. And the timing couldn't be more controversial. Just months before a heated U.S. election cycle, every public appearance by Trump and his family doubles as a political statement. Supporters see it as a strength of a successful businessman president showcasing his achievements. But critics warn this dual role risks normalizing the idea that the presidency is just another extension of the Trump brand. If this becomes the standard, where does it end? The $150 million golf course. The course itself is stunning, perched atop Aberdeenshire's coastline, spanning dunes and cliffs with ocean views. Built at a reported cost of $150 million, the Trump McLeod course is being marketed as one of the most exclusive golf destinations in the world. But it's not just about golf, it's about legacy. Trump named the course after his mother, Mary Ann McLeod, who was born in Scotland. And while he framed it as a tribute to his family heritage, critics saw it differently as a strategic branding move to appeal to his political base while padding his family's business portfolio. And the launch was choreographed to perfection. Eric Trump led property tours. Don Jr. met with international media. Trump himself claimed the new course was the finest piece of work I've ever been a part of. But here's what went largely unreported: the VIP guest list. High-profile business partners, potential investors, and even wealthy donors from the U.S. were spotted mingling with Trump family members at private dinners during the launch. None of it appeared on the official presidential schedule. None of it was explained. And that raises another question. Was this truly a golf event or a high-dollar networking opportunity for Trump's political and business circles? Scottish outrage and political blowback. Back in Scotland, not everyone was cheering. Environmental groups slammed the development for damaging protected dunes. Local community leaders accused the Trump Organization of ignoring environmental concerns. And Scottish politicians questioned the appropriateness of the project, especially during an active U.S. presidency. A protest group calling itself Scots Against Trump rallied outside the resort gates, holding signs reading, "Scotland is not for sale," and "No president is above the law." But perhaps the biggest surprise came from UK leadership itself. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer held a private meeting with Trump during the visit, but refused to comment publicly on what was discussed. No joint statement, no press conference, just silence. And that silence said everything. Insiders now say the UK government is treading lightly, OT wanting to appear as endorsing a US president's private business venture during an election cycle. One protester told the BBC, "This isn't just about sand dunes. This is about a man using our country to boost his own empire while he sits in the White House." business. That anger has only grown louder as more details about the trip surface. Meanwhile, Scottish Green Party members are demanding answers. Some are even calling for Parliament to review how Trump's organization was granted development permits in the first place. Adding to the tension, several Scottish lawmakers have hinted at demanding a review of the financial transparency of Trump's business in the UK. One MP told Sky News, "If a sitting US president can operate here without scrutiny, it sets a dangerous precedent for how global leaders do business in our country." This growing political pressure could turn Trump's so-called victory lap into a drawn-out legal headache overseas. The ethics question, business versus presidency. This isn't the first time Trump has been accused of profiting off the presidency, but critics say this could be the most blatant. Here's why it matters. Trump's sons still run the Trump Organization. Trump still benefits from those business profits, and Trump is still the sitting U.S. president. Under the U.S. Constitution's Emoluments Clause, presidents are prohibited from receiving gifts or payments from foreign governments without congressional approval. And while no foreign government directly paid for this golf course, the promotion of a private business on foreign soil using the presidential office is raising red flags in Washington. Multiple ethics watchdogs are now calling for a House oversight investigation. Norm Eisen, a former White House ethics lawyer, told CNN, "This isn't a gray area. This is a bright, flashing red warning light. You don't mix official duties with private profit, period." And yet, that's exactly what critics say is happening. They want emails, travel records, and communications between the White House and the Trump Organization related to the Scotland trip. Some are even floating the possibility of subpoenas if the administration refuses to cooperate. Media storm and social reaction. The backlash has gone global. BBC called it the boldest mixing of presidency and personal brand yet. CNN ran the headline, "Trump or CEO," and social media exploded with hashtag Trump golf scandal trending for 24 hours on X. Supporters say it's all overblown, claiming Trump has every right to honor his mother and expand his brand. But critics argue that when a sitting president travels abroad and uses the trip to promote his family's business, it's not just inappropriate, it's dangerous. Even late-night hosts jumped in. One joked, "When Trump said he'd drive the economy, we didn't know he meant the golf cart industry." But the laughter only underscored the gravity of the situation. And the stakes are rising. Political strategists warn that if Trump is re-elected, this could set a precedent, a green light for future presidents to mix statecraft with personal profit openly. For some, that's the real scandal. What comes next? So what happens now? Congressional Democrats are reportedly drafting a letter demanding documents related to the Scotland trip, including who funded the travel, what government resources were used, and whether foreign guests paid to stay at Trump resorts during the trip. In the UK, Green Party members have called for a parliamentary inquiry into environmental permits used to build the course, and ethics groups in the US are already preparing lawsuits to force financial disclosure. For Donald Trump, the Scotland trip was supposed to be a celebration of a Mona Lisa moment, but it may have just opened up a brand new front in the war over presidential ethics, foreign influence, and family profiteering. And as the 2025 election approaches, this controversy could prove far more explosive than anyone expected. Family business or abuse of power? You decide. Meanwhile, legal scholars are split. Some argue that unless Congress takes formal action, Trump will face no real consequences. Others believe the mounting lawsuits could tie up his administration in court battles for months just as the 2025 campaign season heats up. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're digging deeper into the stories that others miss, and your support helps bring these investigations to light.